But on the topic of fucking
girth?
moving on for canceling, the topic of girth, I would just like to announce that I have a fucking 12-inch wide wiener.
Whoa.
But it's like a coaster.
It's like a carpet.
You know when they say it's like a popkin?
Yeah, it's like a coaster.
This guy's fucking hog looks
It's like a coaster.
coaster.
It's like a coaster. It's like, that's pretty good girthy. You know, it's actually a flat coaster on a table.
Yeah.
It's wide at the sides, though.
So on the topic of canceling, the Jeopardy stuff, I thought there was so much like interesting stuff about this, but it really boils down to, so the Jeopardy guy, he was the executive producer, and then he decided he was going to be the host, weaseled his way into hosting. Which
Such a weasel
move,
too. It was like, he wasn't even in the mix, really.
Yeah.
Nobody was talking, and all of a sudden, he's like the executive producer.
Mike Richards is the guy's name.
But he's like the executive producer of the show.
Huge move on his part. But if you were the host, any other host trying to get this job, and then they go, we actually gave it to the executive producer.
He's like, it's like, oh, like they pick him as the host. He goes, oh, crazy. I had no idea I was even in the running. This is
like,
what a interesting surprise. I guess, I'll do it.
Wild move on his part. But so the Jeopardy saga has become a cautionary morality tale. And that's what the title of this article is by Vox. And it was like exactly the shit I'm talking about. I don't feel like these guys have the right to go out there and like you should be able to be a prostitute, which I actually fucking agree with. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, be like, you need to be these people need to decide what they think that they can be selective moral. They think they get to be selective moral Puritans.
Yeah. And the thing is this even for them was a reach, like reading the stuff. First off, reading this and they go, so I love how someone's job, because they're like a journalist. This is what a journalist is right now.
I know.
So they go, so you work at like, you're an intern at Vox or something. And then Mike Richards gets hired as the host, and then someone literally goes, okay,
go through everything
he's ever done. We got to bring this guy down. And someone said they listened to 43 episodes of
If you're podcast. A hammer, everything's a nail.
Yeah, they go listen to 43 episodes, and like the worst shit was like, yeah, I don't know.
Dude, this is literally at a fucking magazine. New Jeopardy host. Yeah, exactly what you said. You go, this is your job for the next week. Go listen to Mike fucking and.
Like his big Jewish thing that they're like, oh, he made a anti-Semitic, and it was literally like someone said something about a big nose.
And he goes, ixnay on the nose nay.
Yeah, nose gay.
Dad jokes about fucking.
Yeah, like literally like the most basic, you go, okay. Like,
no, you literally cannot have a job. Podcasting for Mike. It's funny because he had to come out and apologize. As an apology, he goes, he came out and he was like, he thought he might still keep his job at this point. And he goes, this is disgraceful for me to come and even see this. I'm so ashamed of myself. And it was like, well, you shouldn't have said that because now you're back in podcasting.
No, he's still the executive producer.
I know.
That's the craziest part too. Is it's like all he couldn't be is.
Well, you did the Aziz Ansari.
But you're like, okay, so all the stuff you said, fine for executive producer. We just don't want the host.
Exactly.
You look, you could say you hate you want to gas all the Jews. That's fine for executive producer. Let's just not say that as the host of Jeopardy. Like,
you have to be the most squeaky clean person in the world to be an actor now.
Wouldn't it be amazing if it's like they picked
LeVar
Burton, which everybody wanted, and then like just crazy, like just Cosby allegations start coming out?
Dude, it does seem like some of these jobs, if you've done anything wrong, like do not.
No, yeah.
Like the guy, imagine a guy.
But what's the move? Do you just be like, hope I'm not going to get found out?
You do get found out. I think it's one of those, if you see a guy get like a huge job offer, he turns it down and you're like, he killed a guy.
Yeah.
Killed a guy in Memphis.
Yeah. He goes, he did some fucked up shit if you turn that down.
Yeah. He goes, they're like, hey, we'll just do a quick vetting procedure. He goes, I'm not that guy. And he's like, no, but I don't even I'm not interviewing for this.
We want you. It's like, we've whittled you down to the
thousands
of applicants.
We'll just look through some of your footage and see if we stop. I do not want.
Look, I'm a racist. Okay. I won't have to tell you like this.
I'm racist.
I'm racist.
I didn't want to have to tell you this. I'm racist. And Jeopardy, they've had their fucking eyes on forever, right? Remember the guy won and they said he did the white supremacy symbol?
Oh, yeah. He did the...
all these bloggers
Ruined that guy's life too, which is fun.
ruined that guy's life too. No accountability. All these bloggers have had their sights set on Jeopardy,
Yeah, ever since Trebek died.
So they go, The Ringer published an expose. So this is what these blogs do too. The Ringer did their expose, and then Vox is like referencing the Ringer's expose.
I know. They're all just linking each other.
They're all just linking their web of, this guy's the worst, painting Richards as an opportunist with it. This guy is the executive producer of multiple big game shows in Hollywood. And you're telling me he's an opportunist?
Yeah. Like literally, what do you do here? Probably that guy does nothing. He just pretends to be busy and gets an executive producer credit.
What person in Hollywood that's very successful isn't a bit of an opportunist?
Yeah, no shit.
They go, he's a hit with, not only is he an opportunist, he has a history of making sexist, classist, and xenophobic
That's when you
remarks.
know that they're really grasping when they're like, we got
Classist.
for classism. We go,
Shut up.
This guy can't be. He's the host of Jeopardy.
And well, he can't be because he's classist.
Or whatever. Even if he's not, he's the executive producer of a fucking huge TV show. He's classist. You say?
Yeah. Oh, you're saying because he's rich. Yeah. You're saying no shit, he's classist.
But I'm like, what a crazy thing to
Well,
be
he
like.
basically said the joke about homeless people is the issue.
Oh, okay.
That's what they don't like. Detailing this, so they did their expose, which they must have fucking when they found that one smoking gun. They were in their house with the episode, the ball of yarn, the whole thing, and they found that smoking gun of him saying something classist.
You think it's like the equivalent of like one of those horror movies where someone has to like watch videos to find like a snuff film for like a clue or something,
they have to
and
do.
then
They're
like
like,
and like they hear like him like make some joke and just fucking pukes in a garbage can. It's like it's like, you okay? It's like,
It's classism.
never heard anything of classist garbage in my life.
That's exactly what it is.
It's like, God damn, I don't know how much longer I can do this job.
You listen, the guy goes, so I had the old ball and chain over. He goes, I need a break. I need a break. I can't do it anymore, okay? He goes, we hired you for a job, and you need to do it. He goes, you don't know what it's like in there. You don't know what I've heard.
You don't know what I've heard.
I do the dirty work so you don't have
The
to.
classism, the xenophobia,
The
the
sexism
misogyny. Oh my God.
takes a toll on you, okay? I'm just not the same after. As he comes home to his wife, he's like, how are you doing? Oh, what do you mean, how am I doing? What's that supposed to mean?
She goes, ever since you've been listening to those podcasts, you've been snapping at me a lot.
You don't know why. You can walk a minute in my shoes.
You wouldn't last 5 minutes with those headphones on.
She comes in to the room. He's got it just blasting. He turns it off. I can't have you hear this. I told you not to look at my
Take
work.
the kids downstairs.
I told you can't handle my work.
There's no coming back from this stuff.
I opened the floodgates that I can't return from. So that's what the people at Vox are after. But they're taking one for the team.
Oh, big time.
They listen to the classism, so we don't have to. Also, Vox is like they're not fucking classism with their. Anyone who uses these fucking buzzwords is a classist.
Literally, fucking Vox is the same site who is like, every person who likes Trump is a redneck retard. And then they're like, and then now they're like, the classism.
yeah. Oh, fuck. The classism. So they found the remarks, and they said very quickly, Richards looked unfit to continue the legacy of Jeopardy, according to Vox. They said that he has a history of being dismissive of long-term show employees. So this is basically, if you want a job, you have to be a porn star, according to these people. It's like, this guy said some mean things. He was classist. He's not a fucking,
So
can we get a porn star to
basically
host
needs
Jeopardy?
to be Bernie Sanders. Why didn't they get Bernie Sanders to do it? He's not a classist.
But this is what he's being accused of. Like, some of the accusations are he could be exclusionary and dismissive of long-term show employees. So it's kind of a Kermit always calls the Ellen thing nice gate.
Nice game.
Turns out that Ellen wasn't nice. So we go, Mike Richards. You may think that he's just an executive producer of Jeopardy, but did you know that he's dismissive of employees? You mean the executive producer of like fucking, multi-million-dollar long-running TV
Yeah, like
franchise
on 40 years or something.
and never having been dismissive of anyone.
Yeah. Someone's like bugging him and he's like, can you just leave me alone? They go, well, I guess you're never ever going to be the host of the show. Let's seal that. Fucking.
Well, I guess kiss being the host goodbye, Michael.
Whoa, dismissive much?
Do you think that he met the Vox employee in the alleyway too? He goes, I've got some information for you.
Yeah, he like takes a fucking like SD card out of his cheek. Here you go. He's like, store that somewhere safe.
So that's somewhere safe. They do the whole big thing. The guy gets home. He looks it up. He goes, in 1994. Oh, he goes, oh, this is juicy. He goes, you're dismissive. So they meet in the dark
The ultimate
alley.
crime. Yeah, like when dismissive is getting in there, you go, oh.
Oh, he's classist. He's dismissive. 60-year-old dude who runs like a, work. These shows, you're fucking working these 80-hour days.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Totally. You're like,
I mean, people who work as baristas are dismissive,
dismissive is not like, yeah, I don't know. Some people sometimes are dismissive.
Dude, I'll tell you what.
Who is like, that's an actual trait of theirs where they go, yeah, Ryan. You go, who's Ryan? You go, the dismissive guy. I go, oh, Ryan. Yeah, I know Ryan. He's always dismissive. It's like, yes, sometimes
So
people are
fucking
dismissive.
And I've run
identity.
productions before. Like I ran small little TV shows and web series and stuff like that.
Now, here's the question. Did you ever dismiss anybody?
You have to.
Yeah.
Everyone, it's ideally you have a crew that kind of gets each other, but most of the time you have 28 people working for you. You're trying to just make all these decisions. And then a lot of times someone's like, hey, we should try this. And in your mind, you're just like, yeah, okay, not right now. You know what I mean?
So you were dismissive.
You have no choice but to sometimes be, you have no choice but to.
Guess I'm not sitting next to the future host of anything.
Okay, edit this
other
out.
than podcast.
Ryan
Yes,
Long.
podcasting it is for Ryan.
Ryan Long's podcast
Whoa.
just demotes him to podcasting because he
Ryan
admits
Long
to
kicked off of his
dismission.
own. This is the new Vox thing. Ryan Long kicked off of the Boyscast due to dismissive behavior in
He admitted
Canada
it.
in the early 2000s.
Fuck. I just outed myself.
Honestly, soon we're like this close to these people being like, he swore. He was on a podcast. He said the F word.
That's the thing where I'm pointing out they're so wacky with what they think. You know what I mean?
I know.
It's like their value system is so insane.
Well, it's straight up is they arrive at like an outcome first. They go, we need to have this guy removed from Jeopardy. That's the starting point. It's not like, if you go dig through podcasts of the Jeopardy host, for what reason? To be like, hey, here are all the best things he said on a podcast of his 43 episode podcast. Like, here were the highlights of his podcast, the new Jeopardy host. No, it's like you have your intent is to take this guy down.
There's people who've
You're
blown
starting
the
with that
whistle on
point.
that where they came out and they said, listen, I spent my life trying to take people down or whatever. And I realized that was like a disgusting job. It was like, how do you not, I mean, if you're a chick, whatever, they're a little more like fucking nosy and vindictive.
Yeah.
Like all it would take for the chick to like it is to like hate a guy.
Yeah.
But if you're a dude and you're just sitting there listening to 40 hours trying to find the worst thing to ruin someone, F you,
I know.
bud.
I know.
I didn't swear because I didn't want them to take it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
You were being dismissive of that person, though, so that's probably enough of that hypothetical person.
You don't know the work I do, honey. So he had 2 lawsuits at the show, 2 of which were settled out of court, focus on the mistreatment of female employees. One is The Price is Right had recently laid off several models, and the suit says that after Cochran informed Richards of her pregnancy, he said to her, go figure, I hire 5 girls and all of them get pregnant. What are the odds? So I'm shaking.
I mean, literally.
I'm literally shaking.
I mean, he was pretty dismissive of her.
So
Also, if that's actually the case, you're like, yeah, the odds are probably really fucking high. Like,
what?
the odds of if he hires 5 and all 5 of them get pregnant,
Why are the odds high of that?
I don't know. It's like, I mean, yeah, one of them maybe gets pregnant. Again, I don't know if that's actually
The odds
case.
are low.
Or low, yeah, I guess.
What,
No,
what
high.
you're
Like,
saying?
it's like 1 in a million. That's high odds. That's not low odds. Or I guess low odds.
What are you talking about? This is who I'm listening to for stock advice. This is why I'm fucking
I guess
broke right now.
low.
This mathematical fucking brain, this wonder of a
My mathematical wizard brain.
this mathematical wizardry.
You know what I mean? The odds are bad.
You don't know the difference between low and high odds?
I suppose I don't. I mean, I know. I literally
Well,
know. I literally know.
Don't.
Well, I suppose I don't. Anyway.
Low odds is 1 in a million, and high
Yeah, I
odds
guess
is
odds.
900,999.
I was thinking of more of like the high, like the denominator. The denominator is really high. Anyways, that's his big thing. Is he goes, I wonder what she got at
Well, but this is the funny part. If you look at this, it's like, yeah, okay. If you're thinking of this job is the job of a model, so it's like, it's one thing to be like, listen, I shouldn't get fired from my marketing job because I'm 3 months, 4 months pregnant. If you're the models at Price is Right and 5 different models come in and they're all pregnant, I think it's a little distracting.
Yeah, he goes. So, I guess we're going in this direction where all our models are pregnant.
Yeah, like, I mean, even
Like,
if she's been there for a while, you can make it this shtick and everyone knows her and whatever.
Yeah.
But if you just started a show and for some reason the fucking, like, if you're watching a boxing fight and the like ring chick comes in and she's just like 7 months pregnant.
It's like Deal or No Deal, and every girl's pregnant. Like,
you'd be like, what is going? Like, what kind of creep is in charge of this thing? So
Yeah.
so it's not a normal job. Obviously, if you're a model and you're pregnant, you're gonna take some time off. But his comment, he should have, I guess the comment was the problem where he goes, "What are the odds?" And who knows? Maybe this guy's a huge dick. Whatever.
yeah.
Like, he's obviously weaseled his way into this job.
I mean,
there was probably so much.
He works in Hollywood as an executive producer.
Yeah, I'm not-
It's like, there's
like, I
a
don't know
million
this guy.
people who
Maybe-
could literally take his job.
It honestly
I'm like,
sounds like this guy's like a barstool bro from like the sounds of his comments. Like, it sounds like this guy's like a bro when you listen to like the banter that he said on his podcast.
yeah.
But yeah, anyways, it's like he's just like old school.
He's like
fucking
also like
sports
he
guy.
just like makes jokes that are like don't land sometimes, and
Well, it gets worse though. Cochran's lawsuit also detailed Richard's input on what the show's models should wear.
literally the job of an executive producer.
I'm shaking again.
That's like executive producers don't do much, but that would be a thing they would do.
He fucking looked at me and he told me what to wear.
He goes, I like black. She goes, what?
That came in an alleyway conversation too. The girl waited in the car and then he got it. She was like, she had her hood on, got in the car with the Vox journalist or the Ringer journalist. And then, slipped him a note and said, what did he do? He told me what to wear. Not my job as a model. He decided that the model's skirt should be shorter. Oh, I don't know. A little fucking, whoa. You're only allowed to say, see, again, if he said that they should be off completely and they should be fingering themselves with a fucking
Yeah, like you don't
monster dildo,
how
is that
long-
fine?
How long were they? like imagine like they were like actually pretty long, and he's like the shorter was still a pretty reasonable length.
No, but this is what should happen. Girls should start with very modest skirts, and they should come in and be like, "I decided I'm going to do it naked," and then you should be like, "Yes."
Yeah, he goes,
But it's
yes, ma'am.
It should
Even
be up
though
to
I'm your
them.
boss, yeah.
So you basically hire models, and you just hope to God they're really good at fashion styling as well.
Yes,
And they
and
have-
coordinating,
and
you
coordinating.
know, just everything.
He said that he likes models to look like they were going on a date.
The nerve of this
is
guy,
so-
honestly.
Legitimately, like what you would see in the job description for this modeling job.
Dude, I honestly started out on this like article, like kind of on his side, but I don't know
That's
right now.
pushing it.
Yeah, that's kind of a bit.
How
much.
funny is it,
Going
though?
out on a date? What does that mean?
You're like
makeup?
imagine an actual model showing up to a photo shoot and the guy's like, yeah, we're hoping for you to look like, you've been on a date. And she's like, what the fuck?
What the fuck did you say to me? But also imagine like a model like
Richards.
showing up, like an actual model you hired, and you're like, hey, I don't want to like overstep my bounds or anything, but are you gonna like put on some makeup at some point, or are you just gonna do the show with no makeup on at all? Because like everybody kind of wears
And
makeup.
she just drops her glass in slow
Yeah, she
motion.
goes,
Yeah, like I
What?
did
Like
before.
some fucking whore on a date? Yeah,
And if I was a whore, there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe I am a whore.
he goes, okay.
So at his suggestion, he wanted the models to wear bikinis more frequently. Richards, he wants the nerve of trying to determine what models wear. A review of all 41 episodes of the podcast were available and reveal that Richards repeatedly used offensive language to disparage women's bodies. So also disparaging means saying anything bad about women ever.
Yeah.
And there'll be 1,000 articles. It's like just with the Olympic thing where there's just like these men talking about whether these Olympians are hot. And then like all the girl magazines were like 10 heartthrob dudes. Like,
I mean, this literally is saying he used offensive language. So they are actually at that point.
Yeah, you were right.
It says that Tuesday reveals that Richards repeatedly used offensive language.
Well, you're allowed to use offensive language if you're saying men are bad, but you're not allowed to use offensive language about women's bodies because they're all beautiful and they're all brave and they're all
queens.
amazing.
They're all queens.
They're all queens.
They're all queens.
On another 2014 episode, I don't even know if I could keep reading, but I do appreciate this guy went through this for me. Richard said that the one-piece swimsuits made women look really frumpy and overweight, echoing the portion of his lawsuit that mentions Richard's preferences about swimwear. His fucking job. Imagine having any opinion. And by the way, they do. One-piece swimsuits make you look a little frumpy.
Yeah.
Put a bikini on for the boys.
I mean, again, we're talking about models who are like professional models. And not only that,
Pregnant
in
ones.
LA, which is like dime a dozen, there's a gajillion of them.
When he was talking about his female producers, the iCloud photo hack, Richards asked, there was the iCloud photo hack before, and he asked his co-host, both much younger women.
Oh.
See, this is the thing.
Gotta hire older.
This is like, these kind of people would be like, they're the same people that like a guy dates someone that's 21 and they're like, what a creep. And then they're like, okay, but that same 21-year-old should be a prostitute.
Yeah, but also if those women were older, then this sentence would say much older women. Like they would just, whatever it is. They're just, if it was younger or older, they would be like, this is bad.
Why is it worse that they're younger? This like fucking... Dude, they're so cooked. I'm glad that, probably normal people think this is crazy, but...
Triggered normies?
I mean, this guy did keep his job, but it is so funny. It's like...
Kept one of them.
Yeah. His other job. He asked them whether they'd ever taken nude photos. When his co-host said... when his co-host said that she had sometimes taken photos of herself when she thought she looked cute, Richard responded, like booby pictures? What are we looking at?
Whoa, language, Mike.
I told you, he's just kind of like a bro. Boobies?
What, like boobies?
But imagine like
boobies.
It's just so. Anyways, I don't think we need to go through all of them, but the bottom line is, if they're gonna change the rules, say from now on, if you go listen, and if anyone wants to have any job ever, this is a list of stuff you can't say, but they do want that like communist China, like they want the communist China thing without the rules. Like, you know what I mean? At least if you're going to have like a totalitarian system where it's like, hey, you can never work if you say these things, go, all right, what are the things? And they go, we're going to make them up as we go along and we're going to backdate them.
Yeah, we apply them retroactively.
Because I'll tell you what, saying boobies didn't get you fired from a job in 2012.
It shouldn't get you fired from a job in like
But it does now.
Yeah, I know.
So they should say, hey, by the way, we think being a porn star is the most righteous career you could possibly take. But now we've changed it so you can't say boobies.
Men, only women.
That needs to start now. It's like from now on, no guys get to say boobs.
Yeah. The worst is he had to do this bullshit apology where he had to like pretend like he was actually.
Oh, I know.
That's the most humiliating part is because you go, look, I obviously want to keep the job, at least because they're like, look, you got to do this apology. So to keep your executive producer job. And then he's got to be like so apologetic over making these like absolutely nothing comments and jokes. Well,
the best part to finish it is then they've picked a new Jeopardy host, Mayim Bialik, who was on Big Bang Theory.
Yeah. And Blossom.
And then there's 40 articles now why Jeopardy fans are calling for Mayim Bialik to be fired now.
Why don't they just go to the Ringer and be like, just tell us who you want to host Jeopardy. Promise you won't dig up anything in the
They want Lizzo. Isn't that so fun? So literally they find a new person. They go, well, it can't be them either. And it was just either everyone just admits no one can do jobs anymore, or some of these corporations need to grow a backbone and be like, shut up. This guy's the host. Screw yourself.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy too? Cause like, I mean, just the idea, like, thinking about Bob Saget now, we're like, imagine like, that happened now, Full House, where
he'd be fired.
And they go, have you heard what the dad from like imagine it's like boobies would be the best case scenario.
Oh, he talked about having sex with the Olsen twins and stuff.
Yeah, like using all this crazy shit.
So she goes, she's made controversial vaccination comments in the past, which have come to light since she earns the Jeopardy gig. So do you want to know what she said?
Yes.
What do you think? Because I know out of the gate that it's probably really bad. She must have said
something about microchips and Bill Gates.
She must have said something about that.
Epstein came up for sure.
She started to get into Epstein. I think she probably, the way that she's being called to
Soros,
be fired, she must have started to get into Zionism.
Yeah, she's a big Zionist.
I think she started to get into really crazy stuff. That's the only way to. But
pandemic.
Yes, what she did say was, she said, when talking about vaccinations in her book, she said, I think vaccination's a very personal decision that should be made after sufficient research, which today is within reach for every parent who seeks to learn about their child's health, regardless of their medical knowledge or educational status. So that's what she said. She goes, I think it should be their choice. That's messed up, bro. And you think you're just going to waltz over and host Jeopardy after that, spewing that vile
imagine
bullshit,
they find out
misogynist, racist bullshit?
Imagine they find out on top of this she was dismissive once.
I don't even want to.
I don't know if she'll ever work again.
Dismissive to a woman, nonetheless.
Oh, that would be bad.
And then she even came out and she was like, yeah, I'd like to dispel the rumors and my stance on vaccinated. She goes, I'm not anti-vaccinated. My children are vaccinated. I just think there has been a lot of hysteria and anger on the issue, and I think people should be able to make that choice for themselves. A Nazi!
God damn it.
On my Jeopardy!
Based Mayim Bialik.
Enough. So there's obviously an ideal world. People.
It's funny too, because it's like she did a parenting book, and then journalism is the worst fucking job. Like especially this like fake journalism. They go, all right, so Mayim Bialik looks like she's in. Let's dig up whatever dirt we can. And they're like, dig up dirt on Mayim Bialik?
These aren't journalists. This isn't news. They are modern day gossip columnists.
Yeah.
Because this is not journalism. This is gossip. You were a gossip columnist.
Yeah, this is like...
You were the new version of what Perez Hilton did.
Yeah, it's like the National Enquirer, but you're like...
Yes. It's the equivalent of, look at this fucking celebrity looks fat on the beach. But now you're saying, look at this celebrity said someone's fat on a beach.
Yeah. Tweeted someone's fat on a beach.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's just insane because you're like, she was on Big Bang Theory. So like, she didn't say anything to take her down from there. I guess they were never looking to remove people from stuff like that.
No, they only do it when you get, this is their vetting process. They've decided that they are the vetting arm of Hollywood.
Essentially. And these articles too, they're so bullshit because they're like, some fans are calling for Mayim Bialik to be fired. And then you're like, it's three Twitter users with a fucking
they get some heat, dude.
Yeah, you think? I'm saying it starts with three. It starts with nobody, and then they.
But it does get heat.
Yeah.
Like these things catch on.
Well, they create it
because all you have to do is get it to someone that they should be fired, and people are like, "Oh, someone has to be fired." You go, "Do you want to know why?" You want to know? No. I know how it is. I trust you guys. Vox says they need to be fired. Oh, what? So Vox is steering me wrong? No.
Vox would never steer me
wrong. If Vox says they need to be fired, I don't. Listen. It's like how they used to be with criminals, like, in fucking witch hunt days, where they go, listen, this guy, he was we caught him stealing, and then you go, oh, well then kill him, obviously, and you go, do you want the proof? They go, no, we trust you.
Yeah, we got a good honest face.
Yeah, we got a fucking good honest face. So the problem with this stuff is, and not the problem, but what I've kind of was thinking is, one of the reasons why it's so necessary for these people to be very cancelly is just a different, maybe a different articulation of something that I've been thinking. But because these people need to be the only game in town, because when you want to create things based on other things than talent, and you want to get rid of, if you want to kick a ton of talented people down, you have to make it so you're the only game in town. I mean, essentially that's, communism or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But you need to make it, if you want people to listen to all your rules, you have to be the only game in town. The same reason why states in America have a little bit of problem with like their craziness because people move, right? If you want to be, Hollywood to be everyone follows these rules, you need to shut down anyone who doesn't follow them. So,
And I mean, it is real. You have
they can't
some real
have
power.
They can't have people being successful without following their system, right? So they have to shut them down.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, why would people follow their system when they go, hey, look, Jeopardy didn't follow our system and everything. So they have to shut this stuff down.
By the way, it is interesting. I'm looking at the author of the article on Vox, or The Ringer, sorry, and her previous article was literally, after nearly a decade of campaigning, LeVar Burton finally gets his chance to host Jeopardy. So it's like her things are all just about Jeopardy, and she obviously wanted LeVar Burton, and then LeVar Burton didn't get in. She's like, time to fucking take this white piece of shit down.
She's the Jeopardy correspondent.
She is. Claire McNear. She has her last 4 articles are Jeopardy related for The Ringer.